Hey everyone, this is Semihawk Futures Analyst over at ascendtrading.net with a futures outlook and review for April 9th, 2017. If we look at the S&P Futures Daily chart, we can see that ever since the beginning of the year, we've been on this kind of slow slog upwards with the assumption that, Trump is going to spur inflation and economic activity. But you can see here that ever since the end of February, we've been on this slow trend downwards, especially if you kind of ignore this one wick of this little blip on the daily. The 50 SMA has been holding support really strong, so that's really going to be the level to break. Is this downtrend going to be continued, or is the 50 SMA finally going to give us a boost upwards? So I call it range bound, but slightly bullish as long as we're over that 50 SMA. In the last week, we started out with poor auto sales numbers and just kind of general market weakness, some hawkish Fed statements, and just bouncing off of support here at 2340. And then we just kind of bounced along for most of the week, with the exception being the ADP PMI numbers were quite strong, running us up until the FOMC minutes came out and put the kibosh on that. Based upon what we heard out of the FOMC minutes, they are looking to wrap up QE starting at the end of this year, and that's sent markets pulling back, but we didn't break this 2340 support. We had good jobs numbers. And then, of course, Thursday night, there was the United States rocket strikes in Syria, sent markets shooting down overnight. But again, we bounced off 2340. Non-farm payrolls were pretty good, and we ended the week kind of flat, a little bit down from where we started, but otherwise, we're just kind of in this holding pattern. So looking forward into next week, uncertainty rules the day. It's holding the ES down, but not out. We're looking for the daily 50 SMA to hold support, and that's 2365 resistance, 2340 support. So if we see Syria escalation and or higher Russia-US tensions on Syria, that's going to be bearish for markets. I think everyone's kind of wait and see at the moment. Further kind of signs of government dysfunction is going to be bearish after Congress failed to pass healthcare. They really need a win on tax reform in order for people to believe that they're actually going to get anything done. Fed hawkishness on Wednesday was a little bit bearish this week, unlike previous weeks when it's been a little bit more of a bullish sign. So watch for Yellen to be talking on Monday at 4:10, and the big number of the week is the Friday core CPI at 8:30 on Friday. Turning to gold on the daily, we can see that ever since the beginning of the year, gold has also been running up because there's this flight to safety under the new administration. So people are hedging their bets. And so we've been on this kind of long but slow ascent upward. But as you can see, the 200 SMA is just super duper strong. This thing is a brick wall. We bounced off it here in the end of February, and we've been hovering under it for, weeks now. And only at the end of the week here have we finally broken over the 200 SMA, but ended up closing under it. So this is a really tight squeeze here. So we're going to be watching that to break or for another bounce down. Of course, the other big things to note is that, this pullback was the March Fed rate hike, but we have the 50 SMA crossing over the 100 SMA, giving us a bullish sign. So this is getting squeezed. In the last week, gold has been slowly creeping up on uncertainty, but a hawkish Fed kept a lid on it. And then we had, again, the PMI data and FOMC minutes. We moved inverse to the S&P, but ultimately, we didn't actually go anywhere. The biggest spike here was Syria. Gold really, really ran, in the course of 10, 20 minutes. It went crazy. But again, non-farm payrolls was a bullish sign for the economy, and here we are back. So we're watching the 200 SMA on the hourly as well for support because, look at that rock solid bottom. We were just hovering over that for the longest time, and it just wasn't moving. So I don't think that it's really made a decision yet, but the decision's coming. Again, uncertainty has been bullish for gold. We're wait and see. That 200 SMA brick wall, just watch that. I'll be curious to see how that opens up for the week. Again, we're watching for Syria escalation, government dysfunction, same stuff as for the market, just inverse. If we look at crude oil, has been up ever since OPEC announced their planned production cuts in December of 2016, but we've been range bound ever since. We had this wall here at $54 and then just completely pretty flat for a long, long time. We got up to 55. And then we had this big supply build report came out that brought us all the way back to 47. So now we have OPEC promising more cuts, but who knows how much we can actually trust them. The interesting thing that I'm seeing here is it looks like the 50 and the 100 SMA are about to cross. And depending on which way this goes, we could either see a pullback or trying to test this 54, 55 level again. Last week oil didn't do too much, but we tested that $50 strong psych support all the way up to the FOMC minutes where we pulled back with the markets, and then we had a spike on Syria, but the dollar strengthened at the end of the week, and honestly Syria just doesn't really have any oil production to speak of, so there's not necessarily a reason for oil to run on a Syria conflict, unless of course we see a broader conflict spread across the Middle East. So that's what we're looking for. News out of OPEC, if they're going to keep their promises, that we're going to stay range bound unless something big happens. So watch out for that something big. The main thing of note coming out on Thursday is the monthly EIA report at Thursday at 5 a.m. Eastern. These are the monthly supply numbers, so we could see another big pullback or another spike just like we saw back last month. And of course, strong dollar, hawkish Feds, bearish for oil, and we have the normal supply report and rig count this week. If you're not already hanging out with us over at Ascend Trading, you should definitely come and check us out at ascendtrading.net. If you are looking to learn more about futures, I'll be teaching an intro to futures class soon, so stay tuned for updates. And if you are part of the Discord server, then I hope you will come and hang out in the ETF futures room. All right, stay tuned for updates. I hope you guys will like and subscribe this video, and follow me on Twitter at the Semi-Hawk. And I'm just getting started on this channel, so let me know if there's anything you'd like to see me do more of or less of. Stay tuned. I'll catch you guys later. Bye bye.